real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Akaya Schmidt met the defendant in high school, and despite the fact that he heard rumors of her promiscuity, they became good friends. Akaya later rented an apartment with the defendant and her boyfriend, but he's suing them today for rent, a security deposit, and emotional distress. Defendants Tony Tapero and his girlfriend Maggie Benjamin say they try not to take life too seriously and like to have fun and party. But all Akaya cares about is going to school and work. Tony says he intended to pay Akaya, but he lost his job.
Tell me what happened.
Well, Your Honor, I've met Maggie Benjamin, the defendant, back in high school. I did hear a lot of rumors about her, like how she was promiscuous and a little bit ditzy. But, you know, like I started talking to her and, you know, it really didn't bother me. I mean, we got to be really good friends. And a couple years later, I met Tony through her. But I actually felt no obligation to get to know him because, honestly, I didn't think he'd be there long. Because Maggie goes through boyfriends, like, underwear.
How long ago was that?
This was about 1.5 years ago, I believe.
No, he's still around. He's doing something right.
Yeah, it surprises me, but yeah.
Yeah. He should get the award for longest service, huh?
There you go. Well, they had come to me and told me they're looking for a place. And, you know, I was looking for a place too. So I'm like, well, let's move in together. Well, they actually proved to me that they were incredibly irresponsible.
How so?
Like, one night I came home from work, it was about 10 o'clock. There was cars parked everywhere. I got in my car, I go to my house, my apartment, and there's 20 people outside, there's 20 people inside. I walk in, Tony's jamming out with his friends to Wiz Khalifa on a huge speaker, loud as it can be. And Maggie's running around with a bottle of rumshata. So I confronted Tony about it. I'm like, why haven't you told me you're having a party? Like, I have school the next morning. At like 9:30 in the morning, I have a global politics class. He's like, well, I didn't think I needed to. Like, I live here.
How long had you all lived together by then?
Close to a month. 1 month?
Close to it, yeah. And he was giving parties with dozens of people without letting you know?
Yeah.
Were you even invited?
I didn't hear anything about it.
Did they save you a drink?
Nope, nothing.
Yeah, I'd have been mad too. Let's get to you all side. You give me some background.
First off, just want to say I love your show. Watch it all the time. You know, if you're ever in town, come party with us.
I got the invite.
Call me up.
I got the invite. You didn't.
I mean, we'll throw you a nice party.
And I'm not even the roommate. What's that?
We're always partying and just having a good time. I mean, I try not to take life too seriously. You know, I don't want to, you know, get wrinkles and get old and stuff and be serious. I just like having fun.
Okay.
You know,
at some point you got to grow out of that.
Yeah, at some point, you know, you got to take things seriously.
How old are you now?
I'm only 21.
Okay.
You know, so I'm just having a little fun. Kai, he's always working and going to school and being serious. He's never at the apartment. So, you know, we just have fun.
Do you work?
I work, yes.
Okay, good.
You know, and I still have parties and wake up in the morning and go to work. You know, so, you know, I try to be a little bit responsible.
Why don't you invite him or make him aware or tell him?
Well, he's at work, you know, and he's never there. He's always gone. So, you know, we're just throwing a party.
He never comes home at night?
Well, yeah, he does, but then he'll just leave or he'll just go to bed. He doesn't socialize.
That's my point, though. But when he comes home, he's entitled to know that there are going to be dozens of people here drinking and doing whatever.
I mean, he can socialize. He doesn't do it.
You got to tell him. All right, you don't get it. You can't have a roommate and you have dozens of people there when he comes home from work and he has no idea that he's coming home to that.
Defendants Tony Tapero and his girlfriend Maggie Benjamin are being sued by Maggie's former friend, who claims he befriended her despite rumors of her promiscuity.
Go ahead. What else you want me to know?
I mean, he just takes life too seriously.
Where are you going to school?
School in Green Bay University.
All right. By the way, people who claim that and call the guys who study all the time, or ladies, they call them lames, or they're too serious, or they're too whatever. These are the folks y'all go to for jobs. So, yeah, like you say, you don't want to get old and wrinkled and not having had any fun, but you don't want to get old and wrinkled and broke, too. All right, what are you suing for in terms of the rent, security deposit, and emotional distress?
All right, $891 for the first month's rent, August prorate.
Tell me the agreements first between the three of you guys.
Well, originally we were going to go half and half, because, I mean, Maggie didn't have a job at the time, so me and Tony were just going to go half and half on this amount. I had to pay it, by the way, because Tony didn't have the money at the time. And so I paid all of it right away. And I was
How much?
$891. And he's like, I'll pay you back when I start getting my first checks and stuff. Well, okay, I'm like, okay, well, we move in, and now Maggie wants a cat. Her birthday's coming up or whatever, she wants a cat. And I'm like, no, I want my security deposit back, because it would scratch everything up.
And what was her response or their response?
She was like, well, if you let us have a cat, I'll actually pay you back for the whole thing, the whole $891. I'm like, well, that sounded good to me, so I'm like, okay. You know, I didn't feel any need that I shouldn't trust
And they
them.
have not, obviously.
Right, so their checks have been coming in, and they've been spending all their money on ridiculous things that were totally unnecessary.
Like what?
Maggie started coming home with all this cat stuff. Like, she spoiled
We know
her
about
cat.
that.
She bought this scratching post, like stacks of Frisk cat food. It's all in the fridge. And all this other useless cat toys, and she's just spoiling the cat.
All right.
So,
What other charges?
well, they decided to move out towards the end of September. I believe it was September 20th. And they didn't take the cat with them either, by the way. So they're not going to pay for October's rent then, which was due before October. So they moved out before they had to pay. So I was stuck paying for that as well.
So they owe their share for September and October?
Yeah.
All right. And that would be how much per month?
$580.
$580 is their share per month?
Oh, actually, it was 2/3 of that they owe me, because we were going to split it in thirds.
You
That was
have
the
to tell
original
me
plan.
what their share
I
is per
apologize.
month, huh?
I have it broken down here,
Yeah, well,
actually.
you better hand it to me, because it seems like your memory is failing you. And I promise you, they're going to act like they remember all the details.
Right.
Okay, what do you all say to this?
Well, I had a job when we first moved in, and so I lost it.
How did you lose it?
I was sick for a few days.
From
But-
drinking?
No,
Hungover?
no.
Sick from what?
I just had a really bad cold. I just couldn't get out of bed.
Really bad cold?
And I couldn't prove it because I didn't have like health insurance. So my
Drink
boss,
so much you lowered your resistance?
And
so
so
the first little breeze of a virus that comes, it goes right through your pores? Go ahead.
So I lost my job 2 weeks after, and then it was Maggie's birthday and our 1-year anniversary, and I had gotten my check. And
Your last check, obviously?
Yeah, my last check. And I had never been to Mall of America, which is in Minnesota.
I know you didn't do that, son.
So I never been there before.
How ghetto fabulous can you get?
It was my birthday.
I was never there.
She talking to me like, don't you understand? No, I don't. I don't understand at all. Someone who is getting their last check and owes rent. Instead, they go to the Mall of America. So, that's your defense? You spent your money at the Mall of America?
Well, no, then we came back like 3 days later, and he got upset because we couldn't pay it. And I got a job, a couple weeks later. And then he was still getting on our case about the parties and everything like that.
About his money, that was part of it too
Yeah.
by then.
Yeah, and so we packed our things and we just went to her parents because I just wasn't going to get yelled at.
Voluntarily left.
Yes, because I just didn't want to
When?
hear it. It was like getting yelled at by my
When?
mom or something. It was like exactly like a month. It was like the 20th or the 21st.
Of September?
Yes.
All right.
And so I was going to pay it on my next check, but I just
Went
had
to
so
Mall
many...
of America for a second time. No, this time you went to a different mall or to the carnival?
No,
or-
I just had a couple other bills that needed to be paid, immediately.
Do you work, ma'am?
Yes.
Well, why haven't you paid with your check?
I just started and I didn't receive my first check yet.
You just started working after you blew his money at the Mall of America.
Yep.
You weren't working then.
No.
Defendants Tony Tapero and his girlfriend Maggie Benjamin are being sued by Maggie's former friend, who claims he befriended her despite rumors of her promiscuity.
Your emotional distress, what is that for?
I go to school every morning, and I work every day after school. So that's all I do all during the week. And I barely have time to do anything. And now now that they moved out, I have to try and find another roommate. I have to try to do all this stuff. I don't have time to do any of that. And on top of all the stress from school that they were adding to me, that I had to put up with, and now I shouldn't have to sit here and worry about that.
Well, that's the chance you take when you move in with folks. You're taking the risk that things won't go right, and then you can't then sue because the risk you took did not pan out. I'm not going to grant you money because your rooming situation with them did not work out. I will grant you your rent and the security deposit that goes along with that. So that's $1,277 is your judgment, because you all, even though you moved out, you still owed him for the months in which you failed to give him notice, and you had not paid September, and the security deposit in which he paid for. Judgment for the plaintiff.
It's high school. People are going to spread rumors, whether they're true or not. In my case, they're not, so he can believe what he wants.
Yes, I can believe what I want, and you know, I've known her for long enough where I know what she is and I know who she is.
You know what I am.
Just be careful who you room with.